Peace, everybody. No, it's been a while, but it's always important during these times to um, just make sure that you take care of yourself and that you honor the energy around you and the traditions or rituals that you have. Um, so, for example, I was a little under the weather. Um, the pollen here in the ragweed, etc., is like really intense. And so, like, I literally could not talk to you without sounding like this or coughing and all types of stuff. And then on top of that, you know, we are, I can't even say we're coming out of, we're still in the midst of a massive um, flux in energy, a massive shift in, um, I guess, the spiritual energy that's available right now. And so I took the time that I needed to not only, heal, but also to honor my traditions and my rituals, to honor the energy, to tap into it, um, and just really just sit in it. So that's what I've been doing. Um, Trying to switch up my space a little bit. I'm gonna try some different videos. I kind of started to feel a little stagnant um, with the content that I was giving to y'all. So I'm gonna try something different moving forward. Um, Please, 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 if you have a topic that you want me to talk about, shout out to my sister for actually responding. Um, Let me know because um, I'm here. My intention with doing these videos to begin with is to be a channel for the wisdom and the information that comes from source energy, that comes from our spirit guides. Um, they told me that a lot of people right now need to hear that wisdom. So that is my intent. So since we're talking about um, this shift in energy that we're in the midst of, let's get into that. Let's get into that a little bit. So the end. Well, it. So let me back up. Um, if you're not already, you should really make an effort to really like hone your skills to be able to um, tune into the energy around you, tune into that source energy specifically, because as the name says, it is source energy. So that's the place where everything that is comes from. And so if you're able to tap into that energy, you're able to tap into all that is. And the more you practice it, the better you're going to be. So for me, I started feeling um, more and more energy become more accessible maybe like mid-September. But I would say for most people, it probably doesn't happen until mid to late October. Um, and that's why, truth be told, um, that's the time of year where you start to see a lot more external distractions like, buy this, go here, do that, celebrate this, participate in this. And really, that time of year is like one of the worst times to kind of like focus on that negative side of spiritual energy. So, if the spiritual world is more accessible during those times, then do you really want to be like watching scary movies day after day? Do you really want to be like dressing up as, negative entities? Do you really want to be like in a scared, you know, adrenaline filled like state of shock for that period of time? Like, is that really, do you really want to open yourself up to that energy? Because please believe they have access to you as much as you have access to them. So I would just say, just be mindful of things like that. I'm not telling anybody what to do. Do you, please? But, just be aware and make a conscious decision if that is what you choose to do. So for me, um, I feel energy very, very strongly, to the point where, if I go um, to a crowded place, like, I don't know, like a sports event or like um, a festival or a carnival or any type of event where there's like, even the mall, even the shopping mall, for me, it's extremely overwhelming because I can just, by nature, I can feel all of the energy of all of those people all at one time. And I could spend my time um, focusing on, I guess, deflecting the energy, or I guess like shielding myself from that energy so that I'm not taking it on. But that still requires effort and energy. And so a lot of times I just choose not to. Um, but I'll say all that to say that, during these times of year, or during these times where energy is increasing or decreasing or shifting, like, we're also moving into the eclipse season, which is also going to be another flux of energy. We also just had a massive coronal ejection, which is also going to bring another flux in energy. So during these times, for me, it's more important to mitigate that. It's more important for me to make sure that I'm processing that energy in a healthy way, in a way that can transmute any negativity, and in a way that I can receive any wisdom or any information or any messages that are meant for me specifically, and in a way that I can be able to receive any information that is meant to be shared with someone else. Um, so to me, that is more important than posting a video, to be honest with you. So if you ever see gaps in what I do, that's exactly what's going on. Just so y'all know, full transparency. Um, so during these times where we have this flux in spiritual energy, um, it's just a really good time to, I'm trying to put it into words. It's a really good time to be versus do, and it's a really good time to just feel what you feel and sit in it and decipher it and decode it and be able to differentiate. It's a lot of D's, right? Be able to differentiate between your energy, the energy you're receiving from source energy, the energy you're receiving from the people around you, because a lot of times people don't know. Not only do they not know, excuse me, about these fluxes, but they also aren't aware or aren't conscious of how it affects their energy personally. And so, during full moons, for example, happy new moon, by the way. During full moons, for example, that's why they call it lunacy, because it's based on the lunar energy that you're feeling from that full moon energy. And so, being that we are mostly water, being that the earth is mostly water, that pull and push from the moon is that much more intense. And so, that's why people act crazy. That's why people can't really think rationally. That's why people are very emotional during full moons. That's why a lot of accidents happen, because you're not thinking clearly. So it's always in your best interest to be aware and be able to know how to navigate through energy, through an intense onslaught of energy, so that you can remain as balanced as you can be given the tools that you have at that time, and make the best decisions for yourself and remain in the best state of mind for yourself. Um, for example, that's one of the many great things about sharing my life with a dog, is because I might be feeling a little weird, or I might be feeling a little heavy, but if he's also like acting a little weird, or just kind of like not his usual self, or just like laying around and not really playful, or sleeping a lot, things like that, then I'm like, okay, now I know this is like a much broader energy. It's not just like, oh, something I'm going through, or a state of mind that I'm feeling. Like, there is actual there's a larger source to that energy that everybody is feeling right now, not just me. Um, so he's always been a good guide and a good compass for being able to differentiate between, personal fluxes in my own personal energy, and what is felt on a larger scale by everybody. As we go into these eclipses, and as we go into these holy days where we are guided to rest and relax and recuperate and review, um, the past 12 months, or the past 28 days, or um, both. um, it's just, I would just say practice makes perfect. I would say, if you aren't already, make sure that you take time throughout the day, or not throughout the day, but set aside some time every day to balance yourself, to get back into that state of mind. This is also a good time for spiritual journeys. Um, so, you know, the earth provides everything that we need, and the medicines that earth provides is like psychotropic um, herbs. And so this time of year is also like the perfect time to take those journeys, because you're able to not only, if you're in alignment with the natural ebbs and flows of the energy, that the cycles that occur naturally. If you're in alignment with that, then this time of year you're not really, you're calm, you're resting, you're not really taking on too much or doing too much. So it's a perfect time to reflect back into yourself and have those like really strong moments of epiphany where you receive information that is an answer to a question that you've had for a long time, or you receive um, insight into something that you couldn't figure out, or it's just those real like light bulb moments. And herbs like ayahuasca, or mushrooms or things like that can really assist with that, especially if you're stuck. Like sometimes people spiritually can get stuck in a state of imbalance. For example, PTSD is one of the more challenging states of mind to kind of break the cycle with. And so herbs like those are used frequently to kind of help people shift that imbalance. I mean, it's almost like a record that starts skipping. Like you, at some point you gotta like lift that needle up and reset it, and that's kind of like what those herbs do. So if you do have access to it, I will 100%. Number one, do not consume these herbs if you are fearful, if you are hesitant, if you are unsure, if you are using it as a party drug versus, using it in a meditative state. You are not going to be in the right place of mind or in the right state of mind to really utilize its effects the way they are intended. And number two, do not consume these herbs if you have no prior knowledge or experience or direction. That is why most of the time you cannot even find these herbs unless you go through a shaman or a guide that is able to create a safe space for you, so that in the event that you aren't able to process something, they can be there to assist you. In the event that you have a lot of toxins in your system, sometimes the body gets so overloaded with toxins that a lot of people, when they take these herbs, they vomit a lot. But that's just a purging or a cleansing. It's not that you are actually sick or have dis-ease. So it's something to be taken seriously. It's not something to play around with or like to go hang out with your friends and do. Like, it's really not even like a social drug. And I will do a whole separate video and go into detail, so I'm not going to get too much into it. But this time of year, or especially right now, being that we're in eclipse season, I believe Mercury is retrograde also right now. Be aware of what's going on around you, so you know when all of these things are happening. So you know when we have solar flares, and you know when we have meteor showers, and you know when it's a full moon, when it's a new moon, when it's an eclipse, when it's a solar eclipse versus a lunar eclipse, when it's solstice, when it's equinox, when, all of these shifts in energy happen so that you know how to best capitalize on it. I don't even like to use that word. I ain't gonna use that word. I take that back. Take that back. How to best utilize it, how to best tap into it, um, and use it so that you get the most benefit out of it. Um, Another interesting flux in energy that we're feeling right now is that it's Scorpio season. And though my sun is in Taurus and my moon is in Leo and I am Virgo rising, most of the other planets in my chart are in Scorpio. I would say maybe like 8 or 9 planets are in Scorpio in my birth chart. So that's another thing. Like, be aware of the influences in your own personal energy, so you know how your energy is going to interact or mix with the external energy that is coming at you, or that you're sitting in. Um, but Scorpio, the energy of the Scorpio, even though it's a water sign, it's still very intense and very, like, whenever I visualize Scorpio energy, I see so much fire. You know what I'm saying? But it's more like a phoenix fire or a purging fire. Fire is not always destructive. Sometimes it can be extremely cleansing, in the way that the phoenix has to burn to be reborn. That's a great metaphor, to think about it that way. So you can think of this time of year as harnessing exactly that energy. It's a perfect time to purge what you don't need, what no longer serves you, so that you can be reborn. And by the time the actual new year comes around, which is the spring equinox, you're re-emerging the same way nature is re-emerging. With flowers blossoming, you can come into that energy with new energy, new insights, new patterns, new behaviors, um, new intentions, new goals. The goal is always to go with the flow. You never want to, swim against the stream. You always want to go with the flow of the river. The more you know about the natural states of energy, the more you'll be able to just, like I said, best utilize what's already going on. Um, so I would encourage you, especially now, like, given everything that's going on in the world, there's so many opportunities to just do that self-reflection, and not focus on the things that you typically done, like spend a whole lot of money. Now is a time when all of these external messages are saying, buy this, buy that, spend this, go here. And if there's a shortage, like they're saying there's a shortage, then imagine what state of mind is being encouraged if they're telling you to buy all these things, but all of these things are not available. So what kind of state of mind does that put you in? um it's the energy right now that's being encouraged externally is one of desperation, definitely fear, definitely a lack, like not having enough. um and none of those things are positive. Like, I can go on and on, but none of those things are positive. So now is the perfect opportunity to do things differently and to just be more in alignment with yourself, be more gentle with yourself, so that you're not putting all this unneeded pressure on yourself to do things that at the end of the day don't really matter, are not beneficial to you, do not add value to your life. Um, you know, of course, it's always good to get together and commune with your loved ones, but make sure that they're actually your loved ones and that you're not walking into a situation that is toxic, that is stressful, that is, expensive. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, like my family lives all over the place. So, for all of us to get together, especially now that we have kids and things like that, you know, do you really want to spend that much money? You know what I'm saying? Especially now where you have technology. Like there's always a more positive way to approach things. So, I feel like, let's see, where am I at? Oh snap, I've been talking for 30 minutes. Okay. So I'm not gonna make these videos too long, but I just wanted to do something that's more topic driven, and less of a reading. At least for now, I'm gonna do this maybe. Um, we'll see. How about that? We'll see. But I know I have at least like 5 or 6 topics, in the pipeline to talk a little bit more in depth with y'all about it. And then if anything comes up that's like current news or anything like that, I will definitely address that. One more thing, and I really don't like to talk too much about this, but given new can't even say law, given new developments within the government, I would definitely encourage you to, if you are feeling fearful or unsure about things, definitely that should be your intention for today. Since it's a new moon, set the intention to not to stay as positive and as healthy as you can, to be guided towards things that can make sure that you stay healthy, things that can snap you out of a fearful state if you feel like, if you feel yourself going there, if you feel stuck in that state of mind. Definitely turn off, any external influences that might be perpetuating that state of fear or that state of uncertainty. And more than anything, I would encourage you to use your own talents and abilities, use your own capabilities. Like I said, Earth provides you with everything that you need. So if you ever feel like exasperated and don't know what to do next, look to nature and remember that, the earth is your mother and she will take care of you if you know how to access her resources. So don't ever feel like you don't have enough, or that you don't know how to provide for yourself or your family. You just might have to reevaluate how you approach that whole situation and change your perspective. Because nothing lasts forever and we all go through cycles. And right now we are definitely going through the end of a cycle that has lasted for over 4,000 years, to be real. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Google what happened 4,000 years ago, give or take. You know what I'm saying? Or even what happened 2,000 years ago, give or take. I mean, there are several cycles nested within each other. So, all of them, starting from 4,000 years the cycle that started 2,000 years ago, the cycle that started 400 years ago, or 500 years ago, they're all coming to an end. And that's why everything is so tumultuous right now. But there's absolutely nothing to worry about. And it will all be, everything's going to be good. Everything's going to be great. Everything's going to be amazing. And it already is. So again, happy new moon. Make sure you light your candles. Make sure you set your intentions. And make sure that, you stay positive, you stay enlightened. Um, Definitely still working on the creation station. E-course coming down the pipeline. Um, and you can always DM me, or purchase any of my services um, if you need further assistance. And I look forward to doing this next video with y'all. This actually went a lot better than I thought it would. And have a great day.